Nacho!
Finally, we have a comedy centered around luchadors and wrestling, and that's Nacho Libre, starring Jack Black, directed by Jared Hess. It has a Letterboxd score of 3.3 out of 5, an IMDb of 5.9 out of 10, a Rotten Tomatoes of 39% rotten, and a Metacritic of 52, and it has no accolades as of this time. Alright guys, I'm just gonna be completely honest with all of you. I hated this movie, but I'm also going to point out I made kind of a mistake as well. In all honesty, if I would have made 2 clicks, not even 2 clicks, one other click on Letterboxd to look at the director and see what this person directed, I would have never watched this movie. Because the other movie I watched from this guy, Jared Hess, that he did was Napoleon Dynamite. Now, of course, you guys probably already know this. And I hated Napoleon Dynamite. I just felt it was so unfunny, and I did not enjoy it at all. I hated that movie. So if I saw that and looked at this movie, I would have just plain old skipped it. But I didn't, and it took me about 15 minutes to realize, oh no, this is the same guy who did Napoleon Dynamite. Oh shit, it's the same humor. Oh no. Keep that in mind while I am saying all this. I am not a Napoleon Dynamite fan, and if you are, I mean, you might as well probably just close this. That's to be completely honest. So let me move on to the review. Even for a kid's movie, this movie is really, really dumb. And I did not laugh once in this movie, and I mean once. Not even a chuckle, not even a yeah. I sat there stone-faced going, oh crap. That's essentially what I did throughout this film. My big issue with Nacho Libre, which was also the issue I had with Napoleon Dynamite, is what makes what's going on funny. I think the type of comedy that I don't respond to, unless the comedy just hits right, is the entire reason they do a skit in a movie is because it's funny. For example, why does Ignacio fart sometimes when he jumps? Because it's funny. Why does the one guy have street corn all the time when he's in random places? Because it's funny. Why does X happen? Why does Y happen? Because it's funny. And if that's all you have, and it's just not funny to me, it's just not going to come off very well. None of the comedy, nothing of the film really worked for me. Hell, I even like Jack Black. I actually like Jack Black. I like his films. I think he is funny, but I found him utterly insufferable in this film. But yeah, that's basically it for this film. Didn't find it funny, found it mostly annoying. Even for a kid's movie, I found it really dumb, and it was just insufferable throughout. I hated this movie. But again, if you are one of those people who like Napoleon Dynamite, and I know there's a lot of you who do, you might end up liking this, so I don't know. My opinion, it stinks. I hated this film. Now, in every episode of Watch, Rate, Heart, I not only give you my opinions of the films I'm watching, I'm also giving you the opinions of the Letterboxd community, and this is kind of why I like doing this in my reviews, because I am clearly not going to like this movie at all, but there are people who do, and I want to highlight them, or I can look at some of the comments and maybe extrapolate maybe why I don't like the film as much. This first one is from the official Obama. The official Obama gives it 2.5 stars out of 5, and the official Obama says, This isn't a shitpost, or is it? It kind of felt like it, to be absolutely honest. But no, I don't think it is. I think that's just the humor of the movie. This next review is from Will Sloan. Will gives it 2 stars out of 5, and Will says, saw this on opening day, never thought I would see it again, but that was before I became a podcast mogul. Good for you, sir. How funny do you find an American accent? Yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of the comedy involving Jack Black's character is he has a funny Mexican accent, or he is the only guy that does not look Mexican in a Mexican convent. And that in itself is just not funny. Another one I just thought of. A large woman falling in love for no apparent reason to the really skinny guy. Why is that funny? Fat, skinny. And I know some of you are going to say, it's a kid's movie, Brad. I mean, come on, like, give it a rest. But kids deserve good comedy, too. And there are some good comedies for kids, and that are still pretty funny even to this day. This next review is from Tenton Quarantino. Tenton gives it 3 stars out of 5, and Tenton says, would have been much more enjoyable with a better script and no Jack Black. See, I even like Jack Black, but I will agree the script is pretty bad, but I think that's just the humor of the film. If you would have given it a tighter script, or really any kind of script, really, I don't think it would have worked very well. So maybe there's that. I don't know. I really don't know. And finally, this last review is from Chase. Chase gives it 2.5 stars out of 5 with a heart. And Chase says, I have alcohol in my system, so a bunch of this made me laugh, but was a bit shit. Yeah, is it one of those movies where you have to be drunk or high or something to enjoy it? I know some people have said that's something that they do with some movies. Like, if you're watching this sober, you're watching it wrong. So maybe that's the problem. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but, maybe that's why some people like Nacho Libre. I don't know. I'm not going to begin to assume. Alright, so in review, I didn't find the film funny at all. I think even for a kid's movie, it was really dumb, and I actually found Jack Black incredibly annoying, which is rare because I like Jack Black in a movie. I'm just going to come right out with it. I gave it a half star out of 5. I hated this film. I really did. I did not find it funny in the slightest. I was more annoyed with the movie by the end, and I just wanted to get it over with. Thank God it was about 90 minutes long, because if it was any longer, I probably would have stopped. But I will point out, I was not a fan of Napoleon Dynamite. In fact, I think I have the same opinion that I had of this film that I had with Napoleon Dynamite. So if you are a person who liked that movie, and you're kind of like on the fence about seeing Nacho Libre if you haven't seen it, maybe check it out. So overall, half star out of 5 for me for Nacho Libre. Now let's recap the films I have reviewed in this week's reviews. I gave 2.5 stars out of 5 for Fighting with My Family. It's a decent film with a great cast that outperforms the standard by-the-numbers plot, but with a WWE skin. It's fine. It's got good performances, but nothing much else. I gave 2.5 stars out of 5 for The Peanut Butter Falcon. I loved the male bonding and charisma between LaBeouf and Gottsagen in the film. I think they are great together, but when the second half happens, it all falls apart. I gave a half star out of 5 to Nacho Libre. Never laughed once, but in all fairness, I also hated Napoleon Dynamite, so if you actually liked it, you might still want to give it a chance, but I absolutely hated the film. And my film of the week is easily going to be The Iron Claw. It's got a great cast, but I want to highlight Efron and McElhaney in their performances, especially McElhaney. I think he did a great job in this film. Very good story about brotherhood. I just wish they show more of the business effects of wrestlers, which would probably explain better some of the decisions that the guys made in this film. And that is it for this episode of Watch Rate Heart. But before I go, I want to discuss something that really bugged me watching this film this week. And the main thing is this, okay? I think everyone knows by now, I think most people know by now, that pro wrestling is predetermined. It's not really a contest, it's all about storylines and getting people excited and watching people wrestle. So what I don't seem to understand with some of these films, I think Fighting with My Family did it to a certain extent. Nacho Libre definitely did it, so did The Peanut Butter Falcon. Is even though we all know it's predetermined, it is quote-unquote fake. It's not really fake, but like it's predetermined. A winner is chosen before the match even starts. I really got annoyed with how these films manufacture drama by treating the matches as real. Nacho Libre did it the entire time in the film, but you can probably excuse it because kids film. But Peanut Butter Falcon also did it, and I just found it kind of annoying. The Iron Claw did not do it, which if they did, it would have looked really silly. On the one hand, I do like the fact that filmmakers are treating pro wrestling a little bit seriously. They did it with The Wrestler, and they did it with The Iron Claw. But on the other hand, it still seems like they have a long way to go because they still rely on this crutch of, oh my God, can this person fight through the pain in order to win? It's predetermined. That drama doesn't work. I just got really annoyed by it, and 3 out of the 4 films that I watched did it. At least a lot of these films weren't as bad as like Ready to Rumble. That movie was fucking awful. I saw that in theaters. What were they thinking? My God. But yeah, like it is a nitpick I have, and I think it's a sizable nitpick, and I hope when they do more films involving wrestling, they just keep in mind that people know by now that it's predetermined. So to add this drama of, oh my God, is this person going to win? Can they fight through it? It's completely superfluous. Don't even bother. As for next week's episodes, I am stepping out of the squared circle, and I'm going to start reviewing films about Mexican figures, or directed by Mexican directors, or are films set in Mexico. And the films that I am reviewing are Frida, Coco, Kronos, and Like Water for Chocolate. So check those out next week. If you liked any of the reviews I've highlighted in this episode, you can check the video description for a link to our Letterboxd profile. Be sure to give them a follow and let them know that Brad from Watch Rate Heart sent you. You can follow me on Letterboxd and X at Watch Rate Heart. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it and share with your friends. I'm Brad from Watch Rate Heart. Thank you for watching, and remember, we all watch and rate movies, but you give them the heart that makes them live forever.